What's up, MMOHutters? This is DizzyPW here, and we've got another special WildStar event for you this week. This time we're going to be showing off the first ever PvP shown outside of the beta. There's a huge dev speak out right now, and we're about to jump into this and take on Europe, representing the US. And I've brought my East Coast news editor, Mikedot, who's going to give you a little bit of a rundown on what you're about to see.
The battle has started.
Hey everyone, this is Mikedot here today with DizzyPW as we show off some WildStar PvP footage. So what you're seeing here is an arena game mode called the Walatiki Temple, and I think that's how it's pronounced, but anyway, this mode is basically a whacked out version of Capture the Flag, where up to 2 teams of 10 have to capture flags called Moody Masks and bring them back to their home base. One of the unique things about this mode is that your flag captures aren't guaranteed because enemy players can actually walk up to the base, steal the mask, and reclaim them, so it creates this fun dynamic of capturing and defending at all times. The team that can capture and secure 5 flags will win the match. So this game mode can be played as early as level 6, and there are multiple level brackets that will automatically scale and equalize everyone's stats, so it's a great game mode for anyone that's a PvP fanatic, or any player that just wants to occasionally dip their toes into some PvP from time to time.
Funny you should point that out, Mike, because a lot of people just blow off WildStar's PvP thinking that because it's got this kitty-looking cartoony feel, that it's not really that hardcore, it's just going to be handhelding. And no, there's a lot of skill involved. Trying to take, first of all, you can't just kill somebody one-on-one, like spike him down before they know what's going on. I just chased this guy all the way across the map trying to stop him from capping that flag, and he just ignored me and then disappeared. And when it comes to the big team battles, where you're actually trying to stop the other team from taking a flag, from picking it back up, that's when it gets wild, because there's just telegraphs all over the ground. Some of the ones that are there for a lot longer, they're going to hurt if they hit you. And there's a lot of CC you have to deal with. Some of it you have to actively tap buttons to get out of. Some of it you just got to roll ahead of time, or you know you're going to be stuck. I know I've been hit by a blind 1 or 2 times on this, and then you're pretty much just doing your widest AoE possible, shooting out, because you don't know what's going on. And being on the defensive team on this gets really hectic when their entire offensive team comes into cap. And the Europeans brought more, they brought 10 people in, US only managed to bring 9, so we're finding a disadvantage this entire time. And it really comes down to a lot of player skill, just knowing which of the telegraphs your enemy has that you know you gotta dodge, and which you know you can take and keep damaging back, because if you're just on the defensive running around dodging the whole time, you're never going to kill anyone. And if you're not going to kill anyone, you're not going to get the bonus reputation, experience, and the little achievements you get for killing classes for the first time. Beyond that, I can just say it's fun to have so many different skills on your bar, have ways of customizing it in ways that affect PvP specifically, and just getting to know what all the classes can do and how to effectively counter them is going to give you hours of PvP time. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about the engineer?
So the class that I'm playing as is an engineer, which is sort of a jack-of-all-trades kind of class that uses heavy cannons and heavy armor in order to attack, hold, and stir up enemy threat levels from moderate distances. The main resource for engineers is called volatility, which can be earned by attacking enemies with certain skills. Once enough volatility has been earned, they can be used to unleash or power up various abilities for tanking or DPS. Along with those abilities, engineers can also build and command various robots to handle many different situations. 4 different kinds of robot companions can be used for tanking, DPS, power control, and healing. And the exosuits can be used to increase damage or defenses, so it's a great class for close and mid-range offense or defense. Now, personally, I'm not too crazy about using robots in battle, so I actually went with a botless build that can be used from varying distances. For this build that I used in this battle, I have Pulse Blast for building meter, Boltcaster for bursting down single opponents, Shock Pulse for snaring, Bioshell for long-range AoE damage, Electrocute for meter damage, Zap for quick stuns, and Urgent Withdrawal for snares and evasive maneuvers, and Quick Burst for extra damage whenever I land a lucky critical hit. I also forgot to mention how my amp is set up, like how I gain 20 volatility per tick, which gives me just enough to perform my Boltcaster skill after using Electrocute twice, since it uses up 50 volatility. Mostly my AMs have been decked out across the Assault tree, the Utility tree, the AU Hybrid tree, and just a teeny bit from the SU Hybrid tree. I have my physical damage multiplier all maxed out, along with critical hit chance multiplier so I can use quick burst as much as possible. I also have maxed out multiplier for PvP damage, faster regeneration time for dashes, extra shield recharge on dash, 20 volatility on dash like I mentioned before, and just a teeny bit of increased PvP defense. Now I could go on and on about my character's build, so I'll just save the details. So it's an all-around decent skill setup to handle different situations, but the real reason I made this build was to deal with melee clashes with PvP. Now how I like to use this set is to build meter as soon as possible with Pulse Blast and Mile Shell, just to deal damage from a distance and keeping my volatility meter at 100% until a warrior or stalker comes my way. Then I'll use Urgent Withdrawal to evade backwards and put a snare effect on them. Then I'll hit them with my Shock Pulse, which adds up to 3 snares on a single target. So up to 4 snares that basically that warrior or stalker has been slowed down to a crawl. After that, I'll use Electrocute while backpedaling to burn their shields away, then pop off a quick stun and then electrocute them again, then perform a dash roll and hit them with Boltcaster. All in all, that single combo can do some serious damage, from around 40 to 60% damage after the shields have been dropped, and depending if I'm fighting a heavy armor or a medium armor class.
So it's a little unfortunate for us that some of the US press didn't actually show up to this big US versus EU match, and we're struggling tooth and nail throughout this entire match trying to hold on. You can see in the bottom right, it's currently 4-4 masks. Whoever gets the next mask wins, and they've got quite a few guys in here trying to hold it down. I'm finally playing defense for real, and it's looking bad. Our team captain is that little chewer rat running around, and he is hurt. Even with his little, oh, down he goes. Okay, even with his heal, he wasn't able to hold up. It's pretty close. It's us 2 versus these 3. We're holding on, hoping that they don't send any backup in here. And this is where your individual skill really comes into play. When it's one of those smaller skirmishes, there's a lot less things to dodge than it's actually possible to. And your health does not recover very quickly in WildStar if you don't have a dedicated healer with you. When you're in combat, it almost doesn't recover at all. And even if you get out of combat, it can take quite a while when you're as hurt as I am right now to make a comeback. So I'm holding on. I'm trying to lead him away from the base by a little bit of time. I don't think I'm going to make it out of this. But yeah, I'm down. Mike, you got any tips? You've been in the beta a lot longer than I have. What should people be thinking about when they go into the Walatiki PvP for the first time?
So going back to how the Walatiki Temple game mode is played, after participating in the US versus Europe match and after playing a few open matches in the closed beta, as some general group strategies and tips, tip number 1, always have at least 1 or 2 teammates on guard duty after capturing a single mask. It may end up being a thankless job, but a little defense in making sure that no one tries to steal your mask goes a long way. Tip number 2, always have at least 1 person scouting the arena as soon as a capture has been made, regardless if the capture was made by your team or the enemy. Inform your teammates and get ready to make a grab as soon as it spawns. Also to mention, there are power-ups that appear on the sides of the arena, like increased movement speed and increased damage, so you might want to grab one of those before moving in. Tip number 3, don't bunch up. This applies for group fighting just about anywhere on the map, but this is especially true when fighting on top of the bridge where a flag has spawned into play. Bunching up will make it easier for stalkers to come in and just CC the crap out of entire teams, and then medics will just come in and lay damaging fields, which will just burn through anyone's shields and HP within seconds. Whenever a mask spawns on the top bridge, try to split up into groups and approach the bridge from different sides. And the 4th and final tip, basic strategy is just to stick together as a group. I mean, yeah, I know I said don't bunch up, but yeah, you need to stick together as a group. I know this is seriously teamwork 101, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen players just try to run off and try to steal or capture masks on their own. When you're going for a mask capture, always have at least 2 teammates there to help you out with any kind of CC abilities at the ready, because when a player grabs a mask, their endurance is zapped and their running speed will be cut in half. I mean, sure, you'll be able to defend yourself, but it's quite easy for a single enemy to just come up and kill off the mass carrier due to movement speed. So yeah, always have backup, don't bunch up, always have players scouting the arena and defending the bases, and you'll be alright.
This is looking like bad news there. Mike's going down, and we need that mask and the other mask that we're stealing to have any shot at this. Exiles are one away. I believe they're running off of one of ours too. Okay. So we just took one of theirs actually. Okay, it could turn around, but still, we got to pick this up. It's on a time limit, and if you get hit even once when you're doing the long pickup, it interrupts it. That's the timer now. All right, our fearless leader, that little Chua, we got to keep him alive. And this might turn around, even though it's a 9v10. I think we might actually have the Europeans beat on this one. Minion is close to victory. Alright, so he got that in, and now we just got to, and there's the other mask already. He must have caught speed boost or something. This looks like it's in the bag. So that's how Walatiki Temple goes. It's the basic beginner arena inside of WildStar. It's pretty intensive, it's pretty team focused, but at the end you get to some achievements, you get some experience, you get some loot. You get to see MOBA style, your kill death assist ratio, and how much damage you did. And it's a adrenaline rush. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in game. I'm certainly going to be playing this at launch. And that's all we got to show you for this week, but expect more coverage as we get closer to its June 3rd launch. This is DizzyPW and Mikedot bringing in yet another victory for the USA.